right? Okay, good morning, everybody. Good evening, Mr. X's class. Today we're going to talk about the word proceed, which is the level 4 word for September 25th, right? Yes? Got the wrong date up here, but it's September 25th today, not September 24th. So proceed is a verb. It's spelled O-C-E-E-D. So pay attention to the spelling. It means to continue doing something that has already been started. So it doesn't mean to start. It doesn't mean to start. It means you're already doing something, and then you continue doing it. So, I don't know, it could be like the teacher could say, I'm going to help this student over here, but everybody else proceed with your assignment. Keep doing it. Don't stop doing your assignment. Or sometimes it can also be like maybe there's a break, and then after the break, you continue. So it can be that too. So like after the break, the class proceeded with the next period. But it has to be something that was already started before. So in Spanish, continuar de hacer algo. And so here's a sentence with our sentence that you're going to copy on the back of your card. So in a debate, the speaker can proceed with his or her argument after responding to the arguments of the other side. So that's like, this is when you're responding to somebody else, not at the beginning of a debate. A debate is a formal argument between speakers, which you guys will do this quarter as your, or sorry, next quarter, quarter 2, as your oral presentation. A debate. So this means that if another person spoke, you should first respond to what that person said. This person is wrong because blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you can proceed and give more of your own arguments. You can continue your own arguments after that. So that could be the rule of a debate. They can have different rules for a debate. That could be a rule. If we said that, that would mean that the person already started the argument before, right? But now they're going to continue it. So it's not starting, it's continuing something that already started before. And let's talk about synonyms: continue or go ahead. Antonyms: stop, discontinue, or halt. Halt is another way to say stop. More formal way to say stop. Okay, so now, and something to know about proceed. Proceed means continue. So it's spelled O-C-E-E-D, means continue. So, but there's a commonly confused word that sounds almost the same when you say it in English. This is proceed, and this is, but in English this is spelled P-R-E-C-E-D-E. That's a different word, but we say proceed. Proceed, proceed. The pronunciation is really the same in English. That's why it's confusing. But it's spelled differently, and it has a different meaning. So proceed, I mean, this one's a little bit more stress on the E there, precede, but proceed, proceed. But if you say it fast, it almost sounds the same. This is precede. And this means to come before or to happen before something. And that's also one of the academic vocabulary words. I can't remember which quarter, but it is also an academic vocabulary word. That means, so like for example, your period 1 class precedes your period 2 class, comes before, happens before. So that's a good word to know, but it's not the same as that word. That's another word. This word means continue. So right now you're practicing with this word. So here are some examples, more than one example, examples with proceed, which is your word. So the soccer game proceeded after a short break. Maybe, I don't know, it's raining, they stop the soccer game. Usually they don't though, right? They keep playing, but if there was a short break for an injury, and then after that, they start playing again. They continue doing something that they started. Okay, here's another one. Even if you have things going on in your life, do your best to proceed with your education. So keep continuing with your education, even if you might have challenges and it's hard to come to class. Try to continue doing it. And the last thing we need to talk about, I didn't talk about word families. So there are a lot of word families for this one. So a procedure is a noun. A procedure is like a process, a method for doing something. It's like a process. It's like steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. You have to do these things. So a procedure is like a process. What is the procedure like? What is the procedure for changing your oil in your car? And you could have instructions, and you have steps. Step 1, step 2. That's procedure. Procedural means related to a procedure. We often hear procedure also for, sorry, I put two N's there. There shouldn't be two N's. Procedure and then noun. There's no N at the end of the word. Procedure is often used for medical procedure, which is like a medical, something that the doctor will do it's a process that has steps. It could be like surgery but something complicated with steps that a doctor does, usually, or a nurse. Medical procedure, a medical thing that you do to somebody to help that person. Not just giving medicine. It's usually like something like surgery, maybe, or I don't know, something like that. Sewing up a cut, that could be a procedure. Procedural related to a procedure. Okay, and then these two are pretty specific. Proceedings is these two have one E. These two have two E's. Proceedings is like the minutes. Have you heard of minutes? The minutes of a meeting. The minutes of a meeting is like a paper that says what happened in that meeting and says what everybody said. Proceedings is another way to say that in a very formal way. So like the proceedings of the official meeting of, I don't know, some organization, they might call it the proceedings. It's a formal way to say the minutes. The paper that says what happened at a meeting. And then this one is proceeds. This one has stress on the first syllable, proceeds. Proceeds. That means money that you make. It's the money that you make from an activity. So like usually like from selling something. So I don't know, we could say, I was selling, I sold food for a week and then I took the proceeds as the money that I made and I'm going to give it to my school. So these two, they're not really, they come from this word, but they're very specific and they're kind of different actually. The meanings are pretty different for those. Okay, so that should be about it for today. So thank you for watching and thank you very much for filming to my students.